Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Your host, LovelyCheesePizza here. I woke up like 20 minutes ago, so hopefully my racing prowess will be pretty good this early in the morning, considering that my motor skills have not really come all the way up to par yet, and already we're just about in last place. I went through the trouble of doing the qualifier lap, and it doesn't really seem to be making one iota of difference right now, so that's just great. That's exactly what I spent the extra 7 or 8 minutes doing. It sucks because, I mean, this race, doing the qualifier lap really doesn't make a huge difference because of how long this race is, and because of kind of how that opening lap kind of shakes down. It doesn't really change too much. It's really more about me not doing stupid things to get myself behind. Like, if I can race this thing even remotely clean, where I'm not slamming up against walls and plowing things because I'm, you know, sucking down, you know, cherry limeades and eating chili dogs in the driver's seat, I'll probably be okay. Because, I mean, this is a 20-lap race. There's gonna be a point where guys are gonna be going into the pits. It's gotta happen. There's no other way. There's no way that these other guys are gonna go the entirety of this race without having to get a change of tires. And it's very possible that I might have to do the same. I just don't know when. Like, whenever it is that they go, I'll probably take another full lap to build up that big lead, and then I'll go myself. But that's just what I'm thinking. But hopefully, you know, I'll be able to at least have something like this for the time being, where I've got at least a little bit to work with. I've got to have some breathing room in here. Like, if I'm going to be doing one of these fend them off valiantly, but they're just like breathing down my neck and biting my ankles like those little red scorpion things from Gauntlet Dark Legacy in the mountain realm, I don't even want to have a part of it. So we will see what happens. I watched a couple of things last night, one of which I've seen it a million times already, but it's always a hard watch. The other one was one that I had heard about on some YouTube videos saying, oh, you should probably check this out, it's actually pretty interesting. Oh, God. Okay, we're alright, we're alright. So, the one that I heard about, it was called The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It's on Netflix, and it's about these two coroners that they get an unidentified body in their morgue, and so they have to perform an autopsy on it. But there's like no signs of anything that makes sense on how she died, and so they have to try to like solve the mystery of how she died. But like as they start uncovering, you know, more clues on like who she was and how she died and shit, things start getting fucking weird in there, and it's interesting. Like, I'm not gonna say that it's like a phenomenal movie by any means, but it's actually pretty entertaining. It's got some interesting suspense moments in there, and like overall it's just weird. And like the actual autopsy part itself is actually pretty interesting. So it's I'd say it's worth a watch if you like you know, if you like psych thriller movies. I think you'd get a pretty good rise out of it. So yeah. But yeah, so that was a movie that I checked out last night. But another movie that I saw was on one of the streaming services or whatever was All Dogs Go to Heaven, which I've seen that movie just millions of times, and it's one of my favorite movies. I watched it a ton when I was a kid, and I always forget like how that as a children's movie totally could not come out today. There's no fucking way. I mean, there is like an excessive amount of, well, not an excessive, but there's a fairly high amount of violence in there. There's totally like, you know, stuff hinting, and there's like alcohol consumption in there. There's you know, there's like gambling and shit in there, and like it's fucking sad. Like that is a sad ass movie with the little orphan girl. And dude, like, the part that always wrenches at me is the part where Itchy and Charlie are talking in the church after Itchy gets totally mugged by car faces, by all of his hired thugs and stuff, because he's looking for Charlie, and he just beats the living shit out of him and burns down his casino. And he comes limping back to the church, and like they're talking about, you know, Itchy's basically blaming it on the fact that Charlie turned soft because he loves this girl that they've been using. They've been using her gift for gambling money, and you know, and then he says stuff about how, you know, he hasn't gone soft. He doesn't love the girl. You know, he's only using her, and you know, if it were up to, you know, as soon as they get done with her, then he'll dump her off in an orphanage. You know, blah blah blah. And the girl overhears all of it, and you can just see it just like totally tear her apart. And then she runs away, and she almost dies. And it's just like that entire sequence of stuff, it just fucking like rips right at the old heartstrings. Not to mention the like the sequence right before that when Charlie has his weird like a hell nightmare. It's so creepy. That part used to absolutely destroy my brain as a child. It was not okay. I mean, he gets sucked into that crazy black tornado with the red core, and you get down into it, and it like spits you out into the river of like lava with the you know, Charon and the fairy of the river Styx and all that stuff, with the crazy skulls and the weird little ankle biter demons and the dog Satan. it's all bad, man. And as he's, you know, getting sucked into everything, you can hear you know, the dog devil being like, Charlie, you can never come back. And it's just like, jeez, man. that movie would not be able to come out today. It's just not even a thing that would even be close to happening. I mean, the way the scope is now, it's just like, you can't have a children's movie that forces you to feel anything. It's just like, I don't want my child to feel emotions. I just want them to be assaulted by sounds and colors. You know, it's just like no actual fiber to any of these anymore, really. So it is what it is. But yeah, dude, it's a good watch. I forget a lot of times how rough that one is to take in sometimes. However, the food in that movie is glorious. Like there's the area where the orphan girl is at this like really well-to-do family's house, and she's eating like waffles, and dude, those waffles are like the best look. It's like some of the best looking animated food I think I've ever seen. Like every time I see those waffles, it's just like, God, I want those waffles with like a whole huge pile of butter on them and whatever syrup it is that family was able to get their hands on, because it looks just glorious. And then the part where Charlie brings the huge boxes of pizza to the orphan dogs at the church, and just like how gooey the cheese looks, and how just, oh, I need to have it. I must have it. So, it is what it is. Oh my god, I got a story for you. Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't forget about this. This was the main thing I wanted to talk about, because it was one of the most, like, horrendously awkward blue balls moments I think I've ever encountered, and thank God it wasn't me on the receiving end of it. But I had to be part of it, totally unwillingly, but God, it was so funny. So the other day, it was my day off, and Michaela and I were trying to file our tax return, which, dude, by the way, having our tax return when you get married and you've got kids, oh my God, it is something. Like, I remember doing, you know, getting my tax returns when I was single, and you know, it was nice. It's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna do a little quick tax return, not have to pay for it because I can do my own on Tax Act or whatever, and so it takes a little bit of time, plug in some numbers, and you know, I'd average getting somewhere about like $500 to $700, which, you know, it's like, hey, I can do some damage with that. That's awesome. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much I'm getting this year, just because, you know, I don't want to be that guy being like, oh my God, I'm fucking rich. It's like, but it's a lot more money. And it's mainly obviously because I'm claiming children, but dude, if I would have known, if I would have known this is the type of freaking frog skins that you get back after that, man, oh boy, I would have gotten married so much sooner. Nah, I think the course of the way that everything's gone in my life is like just the way it was designed to. So, but I'm loving it. But it's gonna be so great because we're gonna be able to like wipe out all of our existing debt. We're gonna be able to pay off like all of our recurring bills and things. We've got a few of those to pay off, and then we're gonna be able to get like clothes for the kids. We're gonna be able to get them all their baseball and softball gear since they're both starting that here within the next few weeks. We're gonna be able to put some money away because we're gonna as soon as my lease for my Jetta gets up in September, we're gonna be searching for an SUV because God knows that you can't really transport 5 people in a Volkswagen Jetta or a 2004 Lexus IS 300 without it being just a little cramped. So we're looking at getting like a one of those BMW SUVs. God, my brain just totally shut off there for a second. So that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. So we'll be able to put a few thousand down for that, and then we'll be able to have some money left over to just do things for a change. It's been so hard because having just the one income for the time being, because childcare is immensely expensive. It's been hard to be able to have fluid money to work with, and so this is going to take such a huge load off of us. And I'm going to try and see if I can use some of the money to get myself a laptop, because obviously it's not really been a thing that's been able to happen, and I want to be able to use some of that tax return money to get myself a pretty good quality laptop that I can do video editing like I was doing before, and be able to do some work stuff on it, and also just be able to game out on it a little bit, because for right now I've been using just my dad's as kind of just the emergency backup. And I mean, it gets the job done for work stuff, but God knows I could not play anything on that without it basically just like spontaneously combusting into flames and just dying. So, but it'll be good. One thing that I really wish I could get, though, and I don't think I'm going to be able to convince Michaela to let me do it, is I really want to buy a Nintendo Switch. Like, I need to have one of those. Like, the fact that I still have not played Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey or like Tetris 99 or really any other number of all the amazing games that have come out that I still have not even sniffed the surface of yet. I need it. I absolutely have to have it. So, but we'll see. There's other more important things at the time. So I digress, though. I'm getting way off the rails on this again. I got to get back to that story. I mean, not like I'm in any hurry or anything. We still have 11 laps to go in this Leviathan length deal. But I must say, we are doing profoundly better than I thought we would. I mean, I am slapping the base right now. I figured these guys were going to be given a lot better chase than this, but as soon as any of them, reach the pits, this thing, I can slap it on ice, throw a nice, lemon and a straw in it, and I can give it the old sucky suck until it is down to the wire. I don't even know what that even means, but we're going to do that. Because now I really want to have, oh god, I need to have like some Simply Blackberry lemonade. That would be great. I wouldn't have to put the lemon on it, but I could totally put some ice in there, grab that big ass like McDonald's straw, or just get like a big ass bendy straw and just kick back and relax. So okay, this is the story. So we were gonna be doing our taxes, so we decided to we needed to go down to the Social Security office so that we could fill out some paperwork so we could get her, get her last name fully, like officially changed over to Foster, because we still haven't done that yet. Like she actually, it's a thing that just hasn't, we've been so busy with other things, we didn't even realize that she hadn't done that yet until we tried to file our taxes and they got rejected. So we go down there to do it, and go figure, we get to the office and they're closed. They closed at noon. But only on the day that we went. Like every other day of the week, on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, they're open from 7 to 4. But we go on Wednesday, and that just so happens to be the only day of the week that they're open 7 to 12. And it's like, dude, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This is the only day that we have available to come down here and do this. And that just so happens to be the only day of the week that you close 4 hours earlier, and we literally got there at 12:01. And there was nobody in there. It's just like, God damn it. And so it's like, all right, well, I mean, we'll have to come back another day and do it. That's just the only way it's going to happen. So it's like, well, I mean, we've got a couple hours to burn now before we go get the kids from school. So let's go down to the mall and see if we can find some stuff. So we go down there, and we're going through stores and all this stuff, and no big deal. When we decide that we were going to leave and start heading over to the school to go get the kids, I mean, this parking lot, sometimes it can be kind of a challenge getting out of there because there's always so many damn people in there. And to get, the entrance to the Sky Bridge, to get, over into Kohl's and all that stuff, you got to go up to the second floor. I mean, it's the only way. But it always gets so congested in there because everybody's got the same idea. They want to park as close to that damn door as possible. They're going to get everybody all handcuffed because nobody wants to fucking move because they all want that spot. And so they'll sit there and wait like 2 goddamn hours for the one person that's got the best spot to move. And so we wanted to get kind of ahead of things, so we go back in there, and we're walking to our car, and there's cars all the way up and down the aisle, and we walk up to the trunk because we're taking Harrison out, and we're collapsing his stroller, and we're getting ready to put him in his seat. And Mikhail and I like both simultaneously look over at the car next to us because there are these 2 kids. They're probably like late teens, like maybe early 20-somethings. We look in there, and they are basically like 90% on the train to Fucksville, and I think they may have been the conductors because they were just going the absolute fuck at it. I mean, like they may as well have have been like working to convert that car into like one of those prostitute motel rooms that have the heart-shaped vibrator bed. Because like they are just like consuming each other's faces, and like they're getting super gropey in there. I mean, it was like watching like amateur softcore porn or something. It was out of control, and we're just stopped like dead in our tracks because we're just like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, why are they doing this now at like 2:15 in the day in the most crowded part of this parking garage? Like, do they honestly think that nobody's gonna see that they're basically, about ready to go at it in here? And like, this dude is like, he has no fucking regard for his surroundings at all. Like, I mean, he's like, he's like got her in the passenger seat, and he's like leaning all the way over, and he reaches across her and like reclines the seat like all the way back while they're just totally going, and neither one of them have any semblance of any idea that there are like 2 people and a baby that are just staring idly at them, like wondering how long they're gonna keep doing this until they realize what the fuck is that there's people that could possibly be right next to them just watching this little escapade of theirs unfold. And like, we're looking at each other just dying laughing. I mean, it's just like, how do you, like, I could totally understand to a point them doing this exact thing if it were like, like 11:30 at night, and like almost the entirety of the parking garage is cleared out, and they're like the only ones in there, and they saw like, I don't know, 50 Shades, whatever the third one is, I guess, because that's the most recent one. So she's like super horned out because it happens to seemingly every girl in the world after they watch any of those, because, it's because apparently all girls are into like BDSM now after watching those. But it's just like, I could understand that, and like, you know, you guys are basically fucking in the car because you're up on the second floor and there's nobody there. But this is 2:15 in the afternoon in a fully stocked parking lot with cars on either side of you, right next to the area where people are coming in. So it's like everybody could see you if they took even like a third of a second to look. And so we're just like, what the hell? Like, are they just gonna, is he just gonna like just rip her pants off and just, you know, is this just gonna be like a public exhibition this type of thing? I mean, just no regard for anything. And I mean, we're just like, we need to get in the car. Like, I'm not about to watch where this, you know, accelerates even further, because I don't need that in my life. And so I'm at a point where I'm like laughing hysterically almost, because I still can't even comprehend what's happening. And apparently I laughed just loud enough that one of the two of them actually heard me, and they both stopped like dead in their tracks and turned around and looked at me. And the girl's face was so red. You could see her skin just flush, because she was so embarrassed by it, and she was so pissed off at him. And like the guy, you could just tell he was like, "Oh man, I totally fucked up. this was the worst idea." He's like, I almost totally got, but now I really regret this, because you just know that she probably wasn't like all the way into doing that right there, and he totally talked her, and you're like, "Oh baby, nobody's gonna come over here. I mean, I know there's cars everywhere, but why would anybody come to the car right now? This time is for us, you know. It's time for us to conjoin our spirits into one while I penetrate you in this parking lot in the back seat of my hatchback Civic, you know. What better place is there than this? What better time for us to be part of the universe than right now?" And you know, oh my God, oh Jared, that was so deep. You're so smart. Oh my God, let's do it. I mean, there's not going to be any people around here. There's no, the world wouldn't conspire against us. Like, I don't know why they both have the same voice, and why they're both apparently like super stoners, because neither one of them were. But just like as I'm getting into the car, like we make eye contact with each other again, like all four of us, and we all just start laughing. Like we had like this super hardcore laugh. It's just like, what are the odds that everybody's just gonna like all encounter that pretty much at the same time? It was really funny. And then like as we're pulling away to go get the kids, we could just see them like just staring straight forward, like neither one of them wanted to say anything to each other about it, because the level of shame was just like unbelievably high. But like that is, like, I've seen plenty of times where, you know, you go to the mall and you can see kids that are like making out in front of their cars, no big deal. You know, they're all touchy-feely because, you know, they've been dating for like 3 weeks, and so, you know, it's, oh, this is the greatest moment of my entire life. Oh, I'm so in love with this person even though I don't even know anything about them yet. And so, you know, they're just sucking face or whatever. But I have never seen it go that, like, I guarantee you, had I not laughed as loud as I had laughed at that, he probably would have started, you know, getting a lot more touchy-feely, if you know what I mean. Like, we would have had some zippers gone down and some fleshy bits exposed, and then that would have been, the total lack of awareness of the fact that there could possibly be another human being that could approach them in broad daylight. Like, even like mall security or something. I mean, they do patrol that area, and there are cameras in there. It's just, yeah, it was so fucking awkward, but it was glorious. Like, it's one of those things where I feel like I portrayed it fairly well, but if you would have, you had to be there for it. That's just, That's really the only way that any justice is served for that particular thing. But what are you gonna do? We are doing really well, by the way. We've only got a few laps to go, and we've got a nice 30-second lead here. I don't know if any of the cars have actually gone into the pits yet, believe it or not. I figured it would have happened, but I mean, we've been building this steadily. I'm fairly certain that nobody has done it yet, because I feel like if they did, my lead would probably be in like the 50 seconds to a minute area right about now, just because it usually takes about 15 to 20 seconds to really get that whole process out of the way. So, but hey, I mean, this means we're gonna finally get our trophy, and we can finally put this tournament to bed. We can get an oil change for this car, as I am sure the spirit of the vehicle is just like fucking dying right now. Like, he's like on his hospital bed with an IV drip of motor oil or something. And he's like, dude, come on. You need to just... Who cares about the race right now? Just give me some goddamn oil. Like the remainder of the oil that's left in here is so viscous it may as well be Nickelodeon slime at this point. Just hurry up and get the damn thing done and go get me into an oil can at Henry's, please. Go have some of their stale-ass popcorn and their burnt-ass coffee and just let them turn me into a new thing. But... yeah, dude, it'll be cool. So I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. I want to get like a little bit of new energy in terms of, you know, what type of races we're doing in this playthrough right now. Because we've been doing some professional league stuff for a little while. We've been doing lots of tournament things. I would like to, wow, minute 40 on the absolute button. Interesting. I would like, after this race is over, before we go jump into another professional league tournament, I don't want to do an endurance race yet, so I guess I kind of already made the decision for myself. I would like to go back and do a couple of rally races. Now, we haven't really done any of those in a really long time, and so I think now that we've built up, you know, a lot of money, and you know, we've been able to get a couple of other like rally caliber cars since the last time we were really screwing around with that. I think it would be a really good time to fire that up and give it a roll. See if we can't get some more of those out of the way, because, I mean, you know, you gotta mix things up every once in a while. I think that's an important thing to do. So we'll mess around with a couple of rally races next episode here. But for now, let's just clean this thing up nice and easy. I feel like this has been one of my better performances in this race. Like, usually, I still have some moments where I'm still, you know, whacking walls and you know, totally misjudging turns and things. But I feel like, in an overall sense, as I go and whack one right here, I feel like in an overall sense, this has been a largely really clean performance on my behalf. Like this, especially on a race where I tend to not do great in that. It's usually because my car is just so you know, intensely overpowered over the rest of the competition that I can just blow them away off of raw speed. But I've been, you know, pretty technically sound here, where I've judged turns really well, especially that one. Like, that one's always given me trouble, but I've done really well there this whole time. I've done pretty well at this next corner, because I usually take it way too fast, and I'm just like riding the chevron wall the whole way. And then this sequence down here with like the double hairpin, I've actually done really well here too. This is one where I usually always have a pretty hard time with it, both here and here, where I'm usually just riding the wall the whole way. And so it's been pretty good. I'm very satisfied with my oh no, okay, that was about as close as I've gotten to to spinning out and causing an issue for myself. Not like it's gonna affect the outcome in any way at this point, but we're doing pretty good. Okie dokie. Oh man, I'm so excited for later tonight. By the way, I have to work today, so as soon as I get done with this episode, I gotta, you know, throw it in the edit machine and get it all ready to go, and I'll upload it at work. But after I get off of work, Michaela and I and one of her friends and my brother are going. We're gonna go up to Portland. We're gonna go to Fire on the Mountain and you know, get some wings, grab a beer, Maybe get some fried Oreos, because, dude, he's got this place. Their fried Oreos are like god tier shit. Like I'd never really delved into like fried dessert food very much until I went there. Just because, I don't know, for me, I think I always thought like the general idea behind it was always just kind of like you're taking Oreos and you're just dousing them in batter and then frying them in hot oil like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. But then I went to the very first time I went to Fire on the Mountain, I saw they had fried Oreos and they also had fried Nutter Butters and fried Twinkies. And when we went there, we got an order of each of them, just because it's like, you know what? I've never tried any of these, and you know, at the time I was like 25 years old. It's like I've gone nearly a quarter of a century without ever knowing what any of these things taste like. And so we got them, and I took a bite into that fried Oreo, and I was transported into fucking orgasm land, because they're so good. You bite into it, and like the white, you know, layer of the Oreos, it's just like it melts into your mouth. Oh boy, there it is. There's the shitty turn moment. We finally had one. But like you bite into it and just that sugary center just like melts into your mouth. But like the Oreo itself still has just like this little tiny like ounce of crunch left in it. And oh, the flavor is just so good. Same thing with those Nutter Butters. Like you bite into it and just like that peanut buttery center of that is just like liquid, and it's so good. And even the Twinkies, like I'm not gonna sit here and profess this undying love for Twinkies because I don't have it. That part of my soul is bare. But when you get one of those bad boys, when they're deep fried, dude, they're really good. I mean, it goes from being just like this horribly spongy nightmare with that really awkward like cream center that it doesn't taste like anything that's real at all. But when you get that thing deep fried, it is glorious. It's really good. And so, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I'm not going to sit here and eat them all the time, but, you know, I wouldn't mind, you know, it's the kind of thing where I could totally go for an order of them like once a year probably. You know, get my fix of it. So, might have to do that. I just might have to do that. Alright, here we go. Final lap. We have done very, very well, my friends. We're about to put this championship tournament to a screeching halt here. Oh boy. I gotta blow my nose. I've had this recurring cold for like a good solid month and a half now. Like this is probably the longest time I've had a cold hang on. But we've had, you know, sick people in the house for about as long, so I've not really been able to fully recover from it. But yeah, oh well. So here we go. Let's take that last set of turns here. We'll come flying around the river bend. We will claim our prize. We will fill up our championship trophy with some Barks root beer. We'll call it good, and then we'll go grab some Taco Bell, and that'll be our celebratory meal of choice, because Mexican food sounds so good right now. Oh my god, it's everything that I need. I still have not had any of their breakfast items yet. I'm sure they're horrible because Taco Bell, in terms of what it does to your system, considering it's just like a diarrhea factory, like it's so awful for you. But I'm sure that their breakfast burritos are just delightful. And like, look at that championship trophy. You could totally fill that up with root beer. I'm totally gonna do it. All right, what's the prize? What do we got? We better have gotten a handsome prize for this. Oh, see, but that's a different one. Like, can I take the steering wheel part off of that? Like, is it like a, you know, can you like take the top off of it and then pour stuff in the chalice part of that? Because that would be one of the most awesome, like, glasses or mugs or whatever the hell you want that you could drink out of ever in the world. All right, what do we got? Ooh, I see some good cars here. They're all good. What is this? Ooh, all right. That's pretty good. Don't we already have one of those? I thought we already had one of those. Maybe we don't. But I mean, I'm super down with it anyways. You know, if worse comes to worse, we got to do that one again. I forgot about that. So we'll have to clean up that race later. I'm not going to do it right now or even in the next episode, but we will come back and finish up that race later. So what do we got? Yeah, Pennzoil Nismo. I almost call that a Pensmo Nizoil. That is not what that is. Oh, I have a Nismo Skyline. Okay, that's what it is. All right, well, that's just fine. Look at that thing. Look at that bad boy. Ah, God, it's so clean. I mean, I'm not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I get why you like the goldenrod and black. It looks good. So, my friends, I don't know which race we're gonna do next time, but I mean, let's just look at it really quick. What have we not done? Most of them. We've got, yeah, Tahiti Maze on the next level up. We've got Smoky Mountain Rally. We've got Rally of the Alps. I mean, we've got pretty much every one of these, with the exception of these two, on their harder difficulties. So we will check that out next time. I'll you know, have to go through my cars and figure out which one seems like the best option to use, because I don't even remember right now. But it is 9:30, so I need to go jump in the shower like ASAP, and then I gotta go to work. So you guys take it easy. This is your host, LovelyCheesePizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Check out The Autopsy of Jane Doe. It is a pretty interesting movie. It's a little campy, but it's pretty good. So you guys take care. I'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.